Today, more on Elon Musk's package, this time from Robin Denholm, who's been on Tesla's board. In fact, is currently chair of Tesla's board. He's been there since 2018, who worked personally on this compensation package for Elon Musk, who spoke to Andrew Ross Sorkin, the same guy who back in 2018, with Elon's 2018 CEO Compensation Award, discussed this in great detail. He was a big fan. It's, quote, eat what you kill, entirely performance-based. Admitting at the time, the goals seemed absolutely insane, if not impossible, yet we know what happened. Elon ticked them all off well ahead of schedule. I'll do my best not to interrupt too much, although no promises. I do talk for a living. But I thought it'd be worthwhile to hear about Elon's new 2025 CEO Performance Award straight from the horse's mouth. Robin's fingerprints are all over this package. We're likely to hear some of the reasoning behind the milestones. Let's see what she has to say.
I spoke to Tesla's chair, Robin Denholm, who's been working on this, and this has been going on for months and months and months, and the goals are ambitious, and let me show you what she had to say about them.
It's very important to us that we are true to our values, which is really being super ambitious, and this plan actually is emblematic of that. We've got 12 tranches in the plan. The first one, in terms of market cap, is actually doubling the size of the company today. And we have, the first in terms of the vehicle side is actually getting to 20 million vehicles that are produced and delivered. And we're only at just over 8. So to me, the plan is super ambitious. And that is what motivates Elon. So in coming up with a plan that will incent, motivate, have his time, focus and attention on Tesla, we needed to come up with a plan that was super ambitious.
How realistic is the plan in your mind versus, and you use the word in the letter, aspirational?
All right, first interruption, couldn't help myself. Let's be honest here. The goals laid out in this plan are not realistic at all. They're fucking insane. But so were the goals in the 2018 CEO Performance Award. They were completely fucking insane. Everyone at the time thought they were completely fucking insane and basically impossible. And they kind of were. Yet, all of them were achieved well ahead of time. Same is also true of the goals laid out in the 2012 CEO Performance Award. Insane, yet all achieved. So there's a recurring theme here. Tesla dangles a carrot in the form of ludicrous milestones for crazy growth that everyone thinks is impossible. And Elon says, cool, let me go get that motherfucking carrot. And then he does. This will be the third time if successful. So in fairness, these are absolutely insanely ambitious goals. That's the whole point. The best way to produce extraordinary results is to aim extraordinarily high and provide a strong incentive to get there.
Aspirational goals.
Yes, very aspirational. And so, yes, is it realistic? I mean, you yourself and many others, when we put out the 2018 plan, thought that they were ridiculous numbers. And so from our perspective, it is about shooting for the moon, if you like, and really coming up with the ambition to the vision that we've put out in terms of the Master Plan 4, and actually shooting for that and having the whole company focused on delivering against that plan.
And so just so I understand the details of this plan, there are these different milestones in terms of the market cap of the company. So, for example, you effectively have to double. You got to get it to $2 trillion for the first milestone. But then, for example, like the EBITDA number has to 3x what it is today.
Yes, so again, we've constructed this plan so that shareholders get outsized returns. For us, it is all about shareholder value creation, and the plan reflects that. So in terms of the first tranche, as I said, it is doubling the market cap of the company. We're just over $1 trillion today. The first milestone is at $2 trillion. And the top milestone, if you like, the tranche 12, is at $8.5 trillion. And I am saying $1 trillion. It is a very ambitious plan. The 2018 plan was to get to billions of dollars of market cap. This plan is to get to trillions of dollars of market cap and trillions of dollars of shareholder value creation.
How much of this is about incentivizing Elon as it relates to his ability to have more voting control of the company? That's something that he's talked a lot about for a long time.
Yes, I mean, clearly as you're constructing a plan where you want to keep the the CEO motivated and focused on delivering for the company and for shareholders, you need to delve into what motivates him. And obviously he's been very public about getting additional voting powers so that as he develops the AI products and the AI deliverables and the Optimus robots and the robots to come after that, that he wants to make sure that...
Wait a second. The robots to come after Optimus? Sure, it's nothing.
Evil can't be done with those things. And so having some sort of voting power in order to prevent that bad things happening is a motivator for him. So the special committee obviously took that into account as we were working through what were the right goals to be setting, what was the right balance between the motivation and shareholder value creation, and what were the right milestones to be putting in place in order to actually create the right plan to lift the company and to create the most valuable company in history.
And just so we understand the details, these shares are restricted for 5 years, but then they have to be held for 7.5 years. And he's only capturing the upside from where the shares trade as opposed to the way an option would work, correct?
Yes, the way we term this plan, we looked at many different options and alternatives in terms of the types of tools we would use in terms of the plan itself. And we landed on the best plan possible, which is a performance-based restricted stock award. And so how that works is that it is restricted stock, but he only gets the voting power as he hits the milestones, and then he vests in those for the first 5 tranches, whatever he's achieved in the 5-year period of time. He will vest those at the 7.5-year mark.
There's a sentence which I think some people may focus on, which is the word succession, that you hope over time that you can come up with a succession plan and incent Elon for a succession plan. What does that look like in your mind?
So the board takes our responsibility around succession planning for the CEO, but also for other members of the executive team very, very seriously. And we have a succession plan in place.
All right, spoiler alert, you know what it is. At that time, Tesla will have developed artificial general superintelligence and Optimus AI is going to take over the company. Kind of trolling, but kind of not.
Or a plan for a succession if something untoward were to happen to Elon. So that is just good governance from our perspective. But also, when I speak to shareholders regularly, succession planning does come up. And so from our perspective, putting a gate, if you like, to the last 2 tranches of the compensation plan, the 2025 compensation plan, was good governance, but also telling shareholders that we are focused on it, that Elon's focused on it.
We're going to have a lot more from that interview still to come over the next 2 hours. It's worth mentioning, though, and it's something that I discussed with Robin. You know, there are lots of CEOs, and I remember talking to Jeff Bezos last year about this. You could reference a Warren Buffett if you like, too. There are a lot of CEOs who have, gotten early shares in their company. They own the stake in their company. They hardly paid themselves anything, and that was it. Right. And the incentive was that their stake in the company would continue to grow, that they didn't need to have additional incentive in this kind of way. Right. And by the way, that's what a critic would say, what does he need to be paid anything for? He has a huge stake in Tesla already, and he should be...
I addressed this yesterday. Truly absurd statement. The example I gave, many of them. The marketplace compensates people in proportion to the value they add/create. Imagine the audacity of demanding that your favourite artist who's in town, performing a show, comedy show, music, whatever, perform for free because they've already made enough money touring. Let's take it a step further. Imagine you personally want some coaching on business from Elon Musk, and since Elon Musk already has enough money, he should do that for free for you, despite the fact that he'd provide enormous value. No, he's got enough money. Just do it for free, Elon. It's fucking absurd. And no reasonable people make these statements and have this viewpoint. As I said yesterday, anyone who thinks, well, it's good enough, is fucked in the head.
Continue to work because that unto itself should be the incentive. The challenge, and I'm going to be sympathetic to Elon in this case, is he has these sort of multiple interests, which we're seeing, right? So he's got SpaceX and he's got Neuralink and he's got the Boring. And so the board has sort of a different situation on its hands, which is, and I asked her directly, was there ever a moment at which they thought that he would leave? And I would tease you a little bit to stick with us throughout the broadcast, because I think you're going to want to hear her answer.
I mean, spoiler alert, I don't even know if we're going to see the end of this video. Let's have a quick look, just scrubbing over the timeline. No, they're just teasing for later. So here's the thing, right? If you are in the midst of a negotiation, e.g. you're Elon, you haven't got a new compensation award and that psycho judge robbed you of 2018, you absolutely want to give the impression that you are willing to walk away and mean it. And by the way, this is no joke. I can spoil the fucking whole story, right? Here's what happened. Essentially, in a nutshell. How do I know? I don't, but I can assume, and I'm probably right. Elon's like, listen, motherfuckers, I really have serious concerns about AI in the wrong hands, and if I don't have enough voting control, I'm going to take the AI shit elsewhere. Otherwise, AI apocalypse, not fucking good. So here's the deal. I need to get at least 25% voting control in the next comp plan, or I'm going somewhere else to develop AGI, motherfuckers. That's totally fair and reasonable, and that's probably how things played out. Elon would have walked away and meant it, at least in terms of the AI component. That's how important having a good custodian of artificial general intelligence is. He's been on this for a decade or more, warning about the potential risks of AI. Probably a good case scenario, but if things hit the fan, bro, could be the end of humanity as we know it. So this is a perfect place to negotiate from. Being willing to walk away and mean it. And I am sure Elon's no fool. He would have made very clear the fact that if Tesla didn't offer him roughly 25% or so voting control based on AI-related milestones, he'd have no choice but to develop it outside of Tesla.
But part of what the issue here is, they're trying to figure out a way to how do you make sure this guy is focused squarely on Tesla, and they're trying to do it in a almost incentive way as opposed to some kind of contractual way or something else. There's also one other piece.
It feels contractual. You're not going to get paid these big payouts unless you stick around.
This is, as we said, this is as pay for performance, in my mind, as it comes. Having said that, obviously, a judge didn't like the way this was set up back in 2018. The law in Delaware has since changed. Texas, obviously, I think would be more favorable towards this anyway.
I'm not sympathetic to the judge in Delaware. I think shareholders have spoken pretty clearly that they want Elon around. They want him paid in this manner. And I think the Delaware court has done a disservice to those shareholders. However,
that is a massive understatement. Kathleen McSeebohm has destroyed Delaware's reputation for the place to incorporate companies in the United States. Spat in the face of Tesla shareholders twice. Took a dump on the democratic process twice. She should be ashamed of herself.
However, what you just brought up is making me think about something, and I'm kind of thinking this through as you're saying it. I mean, what if Jeff Bezos had gone off and started Amazon Web Services as a separate company and not built that into Amazon?
Well,
what if, you think about what if Warren Buffett had taken every major acquisition he purchased and turned it into a separate company? It's a different thing to try and keep the attention of someone who's basically like ADD, who goes off and does different things. And everything Elon does, I'm a fan of all these businesses that he's built. I think the stuff that he's done is beyond unbelievable.
That's a nice segue to the other piece of breaking news this morning, which is that if you look in the proxy, there's a shareholder proposal this morning that has been included in the proxy this year. So shareholders will actually vote on it, effectively for Tesla to take an investment stake in xAI.
And as I have discussed, this is the no-brainer of no-brainers, the two synergies between these companies from the moment xAI was announced, and the receipts are out there. I said, there's got to be something happening here between these two companies. Tesla's got the real-world data, which is one of the necessary ingredients for artificial general intelligence. And Twitter/X, which was announced when xAI was first formed as collaborating closely. At the time, as I pointed out, X had a real-time data stream of text, images, and videos. These two things combined, these two data streams combined, are the ingredients for artificial general intelligence. No other company or entity or group of companies would have them. Oh, by the way, in case you forgot, xAI essentially acquired X. So now they're the one entity. In other words, if Tesla takes a stake in xAI, Tesla's taken a stake in the entity that has the missing piece of the puzzle for artificial general intelligence. But the reverse is also true. If xAI allows Tesla to take a stake, then between these two entities, they have all of the necessary ingredients for artificial general intelligence and will be the only collaborating companies with said ingredients. This is a very big deal. It's an absolute no-brainer. The potential here is astronomical. I mean, would have been nice for Tesla to take a stake in xAI a couple of years ago, but hey, as they say, beggars can't be choosers. And I'm begging for Tesla. First, shareholders, surely we vote yes. But then, Tesla, load the fuck up.
So this goes to the question that you just asked about his various interests and also his various ability to get compensated for this. So xAI, which of course also now owns X, those two were merged. Effectively, shareholders are going to be asked whether the board of Tesla should invest money in xAI. xAI, by the way, is now inside of and Grok is being used not just there, inside the cars. So Tesla is already using some of these services.
I mean, that's the only thing that's a little weird is the way these things have been spun off and done differently. Like, I don't know that Tesla shareholders would have wanted to have been involved in X or Twitter when he bought it. I think there were a lot of questions from Tesla shareholders when he brought that solar-powered company into Tesla without their approval on doing some of those things. But the biggest Tesla shareholders are saying they're there because of Elon Musk. He's the key man.
And interestingly, a lot of them believe that this ecosystem he's created actually benefits them. And that's the interesting part. And I would recommend people read through this proxy because there's a whole sort of set of issues around this. But importantly, the fact that the shareholder base is being asked whether the board should contemplate an investment in xAI. If they say yes, then it gives... So if they hadn't said yes, or if they hadn't brought this to the shareholders, if the board had decided, we're going to take an investment in xAI, that would create a conflict.
Right, I think it's the right way to ask.
But if they say yes, I think there's a decent chance that you will see, I don't know, a full-on merger, but it would not be shocking if Tesla took a big stake in xAI. And then
Which is how you would get to some of these milestones.
Oh, by the way, I mean, I don't know how this deal would be structured, but in an ideal scenario, Tesla wouldn't actually need to drop a cent instead. And I'm not saying this is how it would play out. I'm just saying, like, hypothetical la land. Dream scenario from a Tesla investor's point of view would be Tesla can offer exclusive access to their real-world data stream, which is invaluable if you want to solve artificial general intelligence, in exchange for a big slice of xAI. No money changing hands. Tesla says, you get our data, no one else touches it, we get a big stake in xAI, winning. I don't know how that will play out, of course, but that would be the perfect scenario.
You get to $8.5 trillion.
Potentially. That would also help. So we'll see. But a lot of news this morning.
Well, wait a second. When you put it that way, it's kind of getting back to what he had originally said, that I would not want to be working on AI issues unless I had, let's say, a 25% stake or something in control in the company because of the concerns he would have about what could be done with that AI.
Which therefore would then give him ostensibly the incentive to do all of this.
So the numbers...
Well, they nailed it. They're right. By the way, I got to say, the xAI Tesla investment, that yes-no question is the biggest IQ test of the average Tesla investor. We will see in exact percentage terms how many Tesla investors are brain dead, e.g. the people who vote against this, versus are at least a midwit or above. And you've got to have rocks in your head to not want Tesla to at least have the ability to invest in xAI. You have to have rocks in your head. And if you're still here, just for fun, if Tesla were to reach an $8.5 trillion market cap, e.g. Musk ticks off the final market cap milestone and will also need to hit $400 billion in EBITDA to get his final tranche. If Tesla's an $8.5 trillion company, what would your current Tesla holdings be worth? Let me know in the comments below. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.